Okay, it's working. It's working. Okay, everybody, welcome to those Zoom, welcome to those on YouTube, and welcome to those watching the recording of this video. Thanks for joining today. If you are participating live, you can join the Zoom link. If you are seeing the recording of this, you can join next week on Wednesday. It happens on Wednesdays. Most of the time, sometimes it does not happen. Sometimes we switch it up. Make sure that you're muted when you're not speaking, and you can ask any sort of question you want to the Pleiadian Council, who I will be channeling. To learn more about channeling and my channeling work, you can check out my website, contest-shine.com has all of the information about my channeling work and the channeling sessions I offer. You can sign up for the email list and get notified whenever I'm live popping up first. And these transmissions are made possible by beings like you. So supporting the channeling work is a really amazing way to help me continue doing this, and that, of course, by booking a session. And also donations for these live streams is really appreciated. All of the information for that is on this part of the site, and the Calendly website allows you to very easily book a session and find all the other business there. So, yeah. Be a fan of session. Hello, and we say good day to all of you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we speak on behalf of the Galactic Alliance, supporting your world in this process. Many of you call Ascension. It is a gift, it is a blessing, and an honor to establish contact with you this way. So we do thank you for allowing this transference to take place, as it allows us a window into your reality and you a window into ours, in which we exchange energies and allow for both you and ourselves to grow and evolve into a deeper connection with Source. We are very appreciative of this, and before we begin, share with you the transmission on the topic of immunity. And as we speak about immunity, we also want to highlight there is a direct connection between your immune system and also being emotionally immune to many of the negative energies that are shared in your world. Your immune system is incredibly powerful, and it fights off viruses, diseases, bacteria that can cause problems for your health. Your immune system is something that is directly connected to your own personal sense of well-being. As stress, more than anything else, wears on your immune system and prevents it from stepping into the highest functioning. As well, all of your other body's systems directly affect the immune system as well. More than any parts of your body, your gut has a direct link to your immune system. And it is eating right, and not only eating nutritious foods, but ensuring that you digest foods well. That leads to healthy bowels and healthy immunity. If you experience deep levels of stress and you cannot digest your emotions, this will cause for your intestines to not function properly and weaken your immune system. It is also directly connected to how deeply you breathe. And this has a deep effect on all the systems of your body. By breathing in fully, deeply, and completely, you are lowering your stress levels and you're providing more energy to your cells. This also causes for your body to naturally massage the intestines. When you breathe very deeply, the pressure that your diaphragm puts on your intestines is part of what causes it to work a bit better. You must come to notice that when you aren't living in alignment with the formulas we share, of acting on your highest excitement to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome, you constrict your breathing. When you do things that you have no preference for doing, you don't feel enthused for life, and it is hard to take it in. And when you insist on outcomes, you block the flow of life force in. You may notice whenever you feel this tension, this stress, your breath becomes shallow. And shallow breathing over time leads to very much weakened immunity. When you live your joy, you naturally support all of the health of your body. And when you allow for your own heart to guide you to what feels right for you, you will feel more relaxed and more joy. And this is directly counter to the levels of stress that you may experience. And this is also bringing you to feel immune at an emotional level. When you feel full of life force and you feel full of love and you feel non-attached to whether or not you meet the goals you set out upon or whether or not you are received in the way that you want to be received by others, then other people cannot emotionally dig in at. Unfortunately, in your world, there is the expression of living at the level of the solar plexus chakra. Most people are still caught in this evolutionary stage in which their main concern and interest is power. The shift into ascension and into a new time on your planet is marked by that shift into living from the heart center. When you live with your focus and power, there is a conscious or a subconscious tendency for humans to attempt to take power over each other. Yet, when you break free from these cycles, you will find that you start to live from a more elevated place. And naturally, you become immune to the negativity that other people may attempt to cast upon you. You cannot get there without letting love guide you, without letting yourself be free from attachments and free from identifications with who you should be. You get there through a natural allowing and a choice to live in a way that leads you to be free of stress. We, of course, say that doing what you love is one of the most important things, is the foundation. Living the formula is the foundation. And that includes taking good care of your body with diet, exercise, with moving and nourishing your body in the ways that feel appropriate for you. Everybody's needs are different, but nothing can replace this. And if you feel confused and directionless in life, one of the very best things to do is strip yourself back to the bare necessities and focus on your health. Because when your health is at a high functioning state, you will have the mental clarity to be able to tune deeper into the calling of your heart and find the specific things in your life that you're passionate about. There's one very peculiar occurrence of the immune system that you call autoimmune condition. This is essentially when the immune system starts to quote unquote attack itself. That is a simplification that makes sense to most people. And this is caused by prolonged periods of stress. There is a deep correlation between autoimmune conditions and post-traumatic stress disorder, and also emotional abuse. Whenever somebody lives in a state of constant stress for many months or years at a time, something begins to happen where the body has to adjust to that level of stress. And as that happens, instead, there comes to be a increase in the amount of inflammation in the body as the body adjusts to stress. And it becomes normal that these levels of cortisol are constantly coursing through one's body. Different parts of the body might produce excessive amounts of inflammation. At an energetic level, this is an attempt to push away these stressful people or situations that are taking place or are affecting the individual. So, in order to heal from this, one has to start to understand deeply and completely one's worth and one's divinity. Within these sorts of conditions, there is a belief system that one deserves the suffering that one is experiencing. One deserves abuse. One deserves traumatic occurrences. One deserves density in this extreme way. And this internalized belief leads to the immune system acting up in all of these ways. It leads to an immense pressure within one's own body. It is these sorts of extreme negative beliefs about oneself that are developed in the face of extreme stress that leads to this tension and inflammation and this degradation from the inside. In order to break free from this, the practice of a deep level of love, of care, of connection, and an integration of beliefs in one's inherent worth, in one's inherent divinity, one's inherent beloved nature will allow for one to change the behaviors and choose relationships that cause harmony rather than stress, and choose living environments that cause harmony instead of stress, and choose career paths that create satisfaction and contentment rather than stress. And many of you say, well, that is impossible because, and that is where you throw away your power. It isn't possible because I have to do these things that society or my parents or whoever expects me to do. And this is where you have to recognize that the rules of consensus reality can be broken, and in many cases, they need to be in order for you to tap into your true level of wellness, in order for you to tap into your true level of freedom, and in order for you to essentially tap into a level of everything is interconnected. And your health is a powerful indicator of whether or not you're really in alignment with your heart. And your heart, remember, is the receiving antenna from the signal from your own higher self. We will add that the channel was briefly distracted for a moment during the transmission because a large iguana got into the kitchen. And this was to trigger the additional information that there are sometimes other visitors of a reptilian or other sort of negative nature that influence you as humans, whether you know it or not. These sorts of negative visitors enjoy the stress that you put out. It is like a fuel for them. And so they can influence your behavior and the behavior of others within relationships. This is not as common as many of you think it is, but at a collective scale, these beings affect the big league, so to speak, and the 1%, and those who have immense levels of power. They can be driven by this. And those who find themselves face to face in relationships with very authoritative kinds of people, the strict and stern leaders who are so selfish that they have no sense of empathy, will find that there's a multidimensional connection between that situation and reptilian energies that can be influencing it to participate and to harvest some energy. So be aware and understand that all of these dances that take place for you in the different aspects of your life have a multidimensional correlation in your other lifetimes. So we thank you for allowing this transmission to be shared, and we ask in which ways can we be of support to you at this moment of your time. Beginning whenever you wish. Your comments, sharings, musings, and inquiries.
Hi, Pleiadian Council.
Hello.
Hey, I have a question about the difference between preparing for negative things you believe will or might happen versus the risk of attracting that as a parallel reality. And an example being that a lot of people saw both channelers and so-called conspiracy theorists say that before COVID happened, that something big was about to happen. And now the same thing are being said about 2024. So how would you recommend that we react about this this year?
Energy follows your expectations. And this is why we say to you to have attached to your expectations and not have no expectations. This is very different. And the basic example is if you are going to make breakfast, you walk to the kitchen implicitly expecting that the food you bought will still be in the fridge. But lo and behold, sometimes other people ate what you left there when you share a house with somebody. Nonetheless, you couldn't help but expect that it was there because that is the nature of your mind. You are expecting time, and expectation sends energy in motion. And it does this for better and for worse. Now, when it comes to energies in the collective, it is not as if you can steer away from all of the events that are to take place. At a certain level, you choose to take path the path of the collective as an individual soul that you align with for the purpose of your growth. And by aligning in positive ways, you will experience the of the many timelines that diverge from the moment. Yet we say again that you're in a time period of a great shift from one way of experiencing and perceiving reality and one form of society to another. And part of that shift is the restructuring of society. And just as you would renovate a building, things have to be broken down and torn out and put back together for there to be a new building. And so, in order for your society to evolve, you need to break certain things down, tear them out, and replace them. And regardless of what timeline you align with as an individual soul, that deconstruction and reconstruction is part of the shift. And so there are certain things that are destined to take place on all timelines that some of you will perceive as negative, but they ultimately serve a higher purpose for the evolution and betterment of you as a collective and as a world. Now, taking this to the personal, it's slightly different because when there are not as many co-creators involved, your energy has a much greater influence on outcomes than when you're considering yourself among 8 billion people. And so, an example we can give is if you live in an earthquake zone, it's wise to perhaps make sure that you build your house in an earthquake proof way. It would be rather foolish to say, because I'm aligning with the outcomes that I desire, I can be guaranteed for the entire ownership of this home, it will not have any quakes here. You have to assess the probabilities of certain situations. And as you do so, you can come to understand, are my preparations helpful? Or are my preparations instilling a level of fear about something that is not necessarily that probable? And oftentimes, you may find yourself preparing for worst case scenarios and proving them to be. But you can also, in a sense, prepare backup savings or this and that other thing in a way that isn't fear-based, in a way that allows you to celebrate the energy of abundance and prosperity that you're bringing in by making such preparations. So it's less about the preparations and it's more about how you feel as you're doing it. Do you cause yourself to feel much greater levels of stress, or do you cause yourself to feel an energy and attitude of care, love, and connection?
Okay, great answers. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks to you. Yes.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
We are fantastic indeed.
Thank you. I'm doing great. What would be three book recommendations for health and healing in your perspective?
The first is to act on your highest passion to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome. And that is to let your life be filled with love. Do things that you love because when you feel joy, and when you feel connection with others, and when you feel satisfied, your body naturally stays in balance. You diminish your level of stress. This boosts your immune system and makes you feel free and fresh. The other things we would suggest is to make sure that you exercise daily, and we suggest low impact forms of exercise, such as yoga, qigong, jogging, swimming, other forms of mind body practice, and things of this nature. Bicycling, yes, that's another example. Doing this every single day and listening to your body in the process is, of course, most important. If you have an injury, don't exercise. If you're too tired, question that, because making sure you get your exercise in will actually boost your energy level.
Mm.
Now, we'll list a couple more things. You said three, but there's so many. Eat a very good diet and don't allow yourself to get hungry. There is a fad of intermittent fasting, and this might be okay if you don't expend energy. But many people instead are choosing to intermittent fast at times in which they are expending energy, and this is causing stress to their system. It's dysregulating their body, and it isn't helping their metabolism either. So it is important to eat well, healthy, organic foods with adequate fiber, adequate protein, and things of this nature. And it's also important to eat at regular times. And we will also say absolutely get sunlight, no matter what time of year it is, no matter where you are. Expose yourself to the sun for some time every day. This will be very tremendous for your health and for your sleep. And yes, the last thing is make sure that you are getting proper rest. And finally, and but not least importantly at all, breathe deeper and become aware of your breath throughout the day. Avoid any form of shallow breathing. When you become stressed out, bring your attention back to the breath and avoid getting into a state of stress or freeze by consciously breathing in the moment to keep yourself in alignment. When you are breathing deeply, you're also bringing your awareness into the chest where your heart also is. Your lungs and your heart are intimately related and connected. And so by consciously breathing throughout the day and breathing more deeply into the lower parts of your lungs as well, you are providing a great boost to your health that nothing else can do.
Thank you so much for that. I was also curious of like literature book recommendations for health and healing on
Certainly,
immunity.
Guidebook to Living Love on Earth, as that will give you very much information on your health and on being in alignment and literally living as the love that you are on the planet.
Amazing.
What else
Thank
might we would recommend the book Light on Yoga as well.
you. Light on yoga. I'm in my life right now. I'm having a lot of reflections on mistrust and betrayal. How can one heal from that experience? It's really deep and wounding to the human. And how do they find trust again?
Allow yourself to be deeply present with these feelings and allow yourself to have compassion and love for yourself in the process. Honor your innocence. Recognize that you did what you thought was best in sharing your trust. And as you connect first with yourself, you can recognize that healing is about you and doesn't require anything from the other person. Then understand the other person is exactly where they are at. Sometimes people who betray you don't even realize the level of harm that they cause and how their actions affect other people. So in realizing where they're at, recognize that they might not have cultivated great and deep levels of compassion, and that might prevent them from acting in different ways. Allow yourself to practice greater self-love and a more level of interconnected reliance. As in, we would say it's impossible to not need and rely on other people. But the problem that many of you humans do is that you rely on too few people with too much focus. So your tendency to have a small, tight-knit family and community means that you're only relying on a couple of people and you rely on them almost completely. Whereas a healthier way of meeting your needs and making sure that you're not let down is to rely on more people to lesser degrees. And this allows you to live in a more interconnected way, having more extended friend groups and more free-flowing love. And it also shows you that, yes, you as humans do need each other to feel well. So you might practice making new friends and making new connections and having discernment in the process. Which people value you? Which people will care for you? Which people will hold you through a challenging process? Which people can you actually trust? It is fair to test people out in the process of relating, to become absolutely sure that you can trust them before going deeper.
Thank you so much. Much love and appreciation for your insights.
Well, thanks, and our great love as well.
Hello, Pleiadian, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, do you hear me?
We are having trouble with the audio.
Okay, 1 moment. Is it better?
Can you somehow louder? it would be very helpful.
Okay, so I will try to fix this if someone wants to go.
Now it is working. Now it is working. You can continue.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Um, Happy to see you and happy to see people here as well. I have a few questions. I don't know if people's here knows about a guy called Julian Assange, who is a prisoner. It was I don't know, how do you say? Yes?
Yeah.
So Julian Assange is imprisoned since many years. He had done good stuff for humanity. I would like to know if he would succeed to get out from this.
If we can see what about it?
If Julian Assange will to go to be free.
It's a process in the work, and we will say that there might be many important things that happen in his trial this year. He may find freedom by the end of this year or sometime in the next year. It may be important as well for more individuals to raise awareness about this and to understand the implications of this. That somebody is being charged as a criminal for exposing the criminality of your government. And what this implies is that you are being led and controlled by criminals. And many people are too much concerned with their own survival at this time to give much great attention to this. Though there are ways that you can share with others and do different sorts of petitions and things of this nature that would also contribute to this process.
Yes, thank you. It's very good news because it's a good being, and I am praying for him because it's unfair, and I am happy to hear him in a few months.
Yeah.
Yes, he will be. I mean, his psychic abilities will be okay because I have heard he has been tortured. He will be full himself.
Healing for many years when he finds freedom.
Yes. Okay. I have another question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
I would like to know if you can give me some advices for me to manifest a move. I want to move house to change, but I did many steps, many things, and it's not happening. So I don't understand what my higher self wants me to understand.
Some things take time. And the energy that you're being guided towards is patience because you are in an attitude of desperation, and that is not helping the process. So the other energy that you are being guided towards is perseverance. As you worked on patience and you still have work to do there, but patience does not imply uh, inactivity. That is why we also say perseverance. It will require you to continue searching, continue reaching out, to continue networking. And as you do that, it will support you in the process. But you need to have patience as you take these actions. You need to allow yourself to be more hopeful while at the same time more content with what is and with what takes place here and now.
Okay, thank you. So it could happen faster, but because I need to learn some lessons, it will not happen fast. I have to some work.
No, these things take time, and you're insisting that it happens fast.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you so much for your advices. Very helpful. Thank you. Can I ask another question?
All right.
Okay. It's a link to the fact that earlier you said some negative entities interrupt Dante. But sometimes when shamans see some animals appearing, the appearance of the animal carries a message. That means both the animal living his own life and the person viewing and hoping for a message makes the both of them manifest. That means living. For example, the reptilian entity who came earlier only exists because he has his own curiosity, and Dante, I don't know, maybe was had some energy bringing this entity. Do you understand what I mean? Role is linked.
Entity, it was an actual iguana that caught the channel's eye for a moment as its presence created an energetic movement in the field, and it caused the channel to slightly open his eyes and look towards it. And the synchronous message that came through this was that as he saw the image of a reptile, we also gave the insight that a reptilian consciousness on your planet is what leads to experiences of abuse. And this is also part of what leads to the autoimmune condition that we have spoken about. So it is important for you to recognize in the negative engagements in your world that there are also other dimensional forces that get involved.
Yes, it's like in the Bible, they said on the right shoulder you have an angel, and on the left shoulder you have a bad being trying to or, call from sometimes to interfere. But what I wanted to say, it's all is linked. That means the iguana and Dante both has his own, each one his own lives, but each one manifested in the same environment because each one of them gave life to another. To Dante gave life to iguana, and iguana gave life to Dante. All is linked.
Yes,
It's
that is
for
correct.
example, it's for example the same when you have gut diseases issues and you don't understand, and it's linked to maybe um, an environmental stuff you don't recognize. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so in life we can see everything appearing, existing, being linked to another thing. That's right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, Thank you so much. I will think about it and drink one last bite.
Yes.
Hello, Pleiadians. Thank you for being here. I wanted to ask you.
Hello.
When I sit in the dark room, I call upon the darkness and I feel it very alive around me. And I feel like something is hovering around me and holding me. And I feel like a mother energy. Am I connected to the dark? It's very attractive to me.
When you call in the darkness, who specifically are you calling?
Usually I call all the entities and I usually address it as my mom. I say mother and I call it and my voice changes and I become very powerful, like I become one, and I feel like the whole room is alive and entities or something is bigger than me there. And it's been happening for years. Like I feel like the darkness is alive, or it's more than a human and it responds to me.
There may be many sorts of entities that can be drawn to you. Entities can be of many levels and vibrations. And darkness does not necessarily imply negativity, though it's important to also call upon beings that wish to be of service to others, service to the betterment of all. And we sense that these beings are not negative. There is some quality here that is akin to the power of transformation. And these beings come to support you in transforming your limited sense of self and helping you to remember your inner divine nature.
Thank you. One other thing I wanted to know, do I have a connection with cats? How do I know if I'm connected to a particular animal? Will I see it more or am I drawn to it?
You are connected to cats and to all beings, remember. Everything in this world is connected. Everything is built through a web of interconnections. And so you have been a pet owner in many lifetimes, and you have worked with cats in a variety of ways across incarnations. To deepen your connection with animals, you need to attune to subtle energies. These animals are very aware of, and cats in particular wants to be approached in a very soft way. Cats cannot be approached with a grabby energy. Cats cannot be approached with a very attached energy. Cats need to be gently offered the possibility of connection. So when you see a cat and you want to pet it, it's better to first hold your hand and imagine you're sending a subtle energy to the cat and notice how the cat responds. Look towards the cat's eyes and allow the cat to be aware of your hand. And then if the cat makes a positive gesture towards you, first touch the cat at the back of the heart chakra between the cat's shoulder blades. Touch very gently and slow at first, and then you can start to stroke the cat's head and the rest of the parts of its body. Be very aware of any negative responses to the cat and move your hand away before again touching the cat in an area that was positive for the cat. Cats can also be energetic messengers, and they can come to you at certain times to relay information to you or to help you process energy.
Thank you so much for your answer. Is it true that the cats or any other animals are all planted by the extraterrestrial beings? Because they seem to all have, especially like the eagle or the white tigers, I feel like they have extraterrestrial energy beyond our Earth.
At very, very ancient times, your planet was a sort of exchange place where different sorts of beings came and visited. And yes, some different species that have evolved into modern animals were brought to your planet.
I thank you so much, Pleiadians.
Oh, I thanks to you as well, yes. Does anybody else have a question they would like to ask at this time?
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello, well,
Since my young age, I have usually issue with intestinal constipation. Maybe the root cause of it.
what is causing it?
Yes.
What is your diet like?
Mm, at, at that time was
But now,
I,
the issue now, what do you eat now?
now a plant-based diet and not meal or not meat at all, and to have a and I also use magnesium chloride to ease my intestinal constipation. I use magnesium chloride, and that's helped me a lot. But I need to use it regularly. Is it okay?
Are you taking probiotics?
No.
This is a crucial thing.
Mhm.
Your body before lacked fiber, and this was one of the early causes. As you changed your diet, now there is fiber, but it is not being processed in a smooth way. And so you need to include things like kimchi and sauerkraut and perhaps some things like kombucha. But again, that is not very strong compared to the kimchi and the sauerkraut and things of this nature. Fermented foods, miso as well, can be very helpful. Are you eating several meals a day?
Yes, usually two meals a day.
Well, what time is the first meal?
At noon and then in the evening.
You may need to have something earlier in the day. It might be a smoothie or it might be oatmeal, though skipping breakfast is part of the problem. And at an emotional level, it is connected with scarcity consciousness. It is connected with the sense of there not being enough. And so the body holds on tighter. And so energetically, emotionally, you have to expand into loosening your grip. And that will help you to loosen your grip inside as well. Loosen your grip on your idea of how much needs to be accomplished and things of this nature. Allow yourself to live with a greater sense of ease and trust.
Mm-hmm.
This will bring about much greater support. We would also say that you may be eating many things that are whole grain. And this is not necessarily helping. So switch to white rice for a period of time instead of brown rice. Take out bread from the diet unless it is sourdough or sprouted bread, because there is something caused in the bread that is also contributing to this.
Mm-hmm. And I like also salad, and that also helped me a lot to my digestion. Okay, and is it regular consumption of magnesium chloride okay?
Say that again?
Is regular consumption of magnesium chloride okay?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Salads and light foods are also contributing to the problem. You may want to consider heavier types of food. It's okay to have salad, but don't make a meal out of it. It is not very easy to digest.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sometimes I feel I need something heavier,
Switching
some
from
legumes
raw
and
food to more cooked food, especially in the winter, is helpful.
Mhm.
We say cooked rather than raw. There was a moment of confusion in channels processing. Yes, more cooked food rather than raw food, especially in the winter.
Mhm. Okay, and another thing I came across last week was shiitake mushroom. Would it also be helpful for me?
What is the mushroom?
Shiitake mushroom.
Superfood mushroom?
No, shiitake. I don't know if I pronounce it okay.
What? We cannot.
Shiitake mushroom.
Oh, yes. The shiitake mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
This must at higher temperatures than other mushrooms. It is a very delicious mushroom. It has a great nutrient profile. It is not the absolute most healthiest mushroom, but
I cannot understand. You are dropping out, Ante.
same thing again and again, this can cause issues.
Mm-hmm. Can you please repeat that? What is it?
You
Good
could not
for?
hear us?
Yes, that was a dropout in the beginning.
Oh, yes, we said the shiitake mushroom is something that can be healthy and it needs to be cooked at very high temperatures. It is not the most nutritious mushroom, but it is helpful. And most important is to include diversity in your diet and eat different things on every day.
Mm-hmm. And what about drops made with alcohol from this mushroom?
That is fine.
Does it have
It is
same effect?
helpful
Like,
mushroom. What was that?
does it have the same effect as a raw shiitake mushroom?
It doesn't have the same effect, no.
Mhm.
Eating the entire mushroom will have a better, more positive.
Um,
It is, to clarify, because there was some confusion. It is a helpful mushroom. It is nutritious. It supports your health, but it cannot be seen as the one solution. You must have a more complete change of the diet. And remember, the mushrooms are better cooked, fresh. Yes.
mhm. Okay, thank you. There are so many dropouts. Can you fix it somehow?
What was that?
There are many dropouts in the transmission. In the, I'm guessing maybe in your connection.
Well, the internet is
Yes, it's. I can hear only
we will
second or third word from you. Wow, the video has disappeared.
maybe this is better.
Yes, sounds much better.
Okay. All right. All right. Let us continue.
Okay, and if I may, my last theme was regarding time management. Last week I came across uh, a strategy of time management that it's good to divide your day into regular time slots and do the activities. Either you need to do them or you are just following your passion in the day in the regular time slot. And I'm very excited about this strategy of managing your time, not your task, but your time. Would you add anything to this time management strategy?
It's very helpful to do things at regular times, and it allows you to have a sense of rhythm and continuity. It allows you to have set expectations of how the day will flow, and you could find that daily rhythm that allows you to be at the right place at the right time, and it can support you in feeling aligned with your day. It is not for every person, and even those who benefit from this will also need to change things up and have variety every now and then.
My biggest issue with this strategy is that sometimes I don't feel like doing the activities that I have put on my schedule. So, what uh, time management would be better for me?
But what is the outcome that those activities lead? Is that outcome not necessary for everything else to flow in life?
Mm.
If you need to continue to eat in order to live and thrive, isn't it necessary to also do the dishes?
Yes.
So can you see the dishes as part of the overall bigger picture of life?
Yes. Uh, Sometimes I like to reschedule and put these unpleasant things to the later time, and then it's simply too much to handle.
But then you're not living in the process of life.
Mhm.
You're being stripped by time. When you do that, you're considering the emotional weight when you know that the dishes are there waiting and you have a negative feeling about that, or other people have a negative feeling about that, and there's stress in the back of your mind as you go through all of the things that you're meant to be enjoying, the dishes is still weighing on.
Mhm.
And so
So,
associate the process as the point. Remember the process point. Know that everything you do is part of a bigger process. And the process cannot be complete without every aspect of it. The menial tasks are just as important as the parts that you're most excited about. So it can be helpful to, as you do the menial tasks, dream about the other things that you're doing. For example, if you have a creative work, allow yourself to dream about that and imagine that as you wash the dishes. And then you'll find that you're not wasting time at all. In fact, when you allow yourself to be considering the larger flow of time and all of the events that are involved in life, as you do things, you will find that doing the dishes is an amazing time for brainstorming and for getting ideas. You will find that when you're doing regular household chores, your mind is open to all the other aspects of your life and new insights can come. So remember, even though you are doing something in the physical reality, your energy, your mind, your consciousness can be expanded into other realms as you do that.
mhm. Okay, thank you very much. That's good uh, food for thought. Thank you.
Hello, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Hello. I am interested in trying to soften my relationship with my mother, Virginia. I feel like I owe her a lot. I know she loves me, but she doesn't understand me at all. So I'm interested to know if you have any insight about how to connect with something softer and more loving with her.
Where do you feel resistance?
Well, I think there's resistance related to our exchange of energy, particularly in the form of money, and a certain sadness that I have that she doesn't understand me as I am, or she doesn't understand my belief systems, if you will. I don't know. I just want things to be softer for me. And is love the answer as it usually is?
Well, yes, but it can be more complex too. We would invite you to consider if she is placing as much weight on the money and things of this nature as you are.
Indeed.
Because you seem to be projecting that she feels more ways about it than she does.
Yes, perhaps. Thank you.
And this burden that you're creating of indebtedness is causing the resentment.
Yes. Could be as simple as that.
In terms of her not understanding you, that is all right.
Yeah, I
Understand
know.
that people can only see things and see others within the framework of their own reality. And so if you're exploring realms and concepts that she has never been exposed to before, she can't understand. Consider the life that she has lived and what she has learned. And imagine if that's all that you knew, how would you see you as a person?
How would I what?
How would you see yourself if you were her, only knowing what she knew?
Yes, I appreciate that. I do know this. I do know this. I just I appreciate the comments very much. All right. Blessings to all. Thanks.
Our love, our blessings to you. Perhaps somebody may want to read questions typed in Zoom or in YouTube. That would be helpful to everyone in the audience.
I can read them.
Oh, yes, great, thank you.
Question from a B. How do I use the large amethyst gold sold on AliExpress to best help my meditation? How do I resonate and activate it with Bashar's crystal skull? How does this Bashar crystal skull help me with my meditation?
Well, understand that all of the crystal skulls are different, so you'll activate in your own way. We invite you to consider that the crystal skull is a being itself. It has consciousness. It has a energy that you can connect with. Imagine having a conversation with it. What would it say? Know that channeling begins with imagination. And so if the only way you can communicate with the crystal at first is imagining a conversation in your head, this can be a wonderful way to start to receive messages. When you have learned what you need to learn from the crystal, it will become more clear how it is there to show up in your life to support a deeper initiation.
Okay, thank you for that. The next question, I have a question. This is from Jessica. I have a question about me seeing everything as black or white. It's like it is impossible to merge perspective or see the gray areas. For example, either I go in all on Abraham Hicks philosophy, just focusing on the positive and bury any bad feelings, thoughts, and spiritual bypass with love and light, or I go all in on Teal Swan, shadow work, and the healing never ends. There's always more, always something that disturbs my inner peace and needs to be looked at and healed. Logically, I understand that the best way to continue is to combine perspectives and to find balance between them. But I seem not to be able to do this. Is it this 100% or that 100%? But my question is do I need to change something around this, or is it just the way I have chosen to be in this life, and I should accept that it is how I navigate through?
It is not the way that you were destined to be, and it is the way that many people see things. So don't assume that you created this black and white thinking on your own. Don't assume that it is something that you uniquely have conjured in your own mind and reality. How absurd would that be? You've learned it from the world around you that teaches you things are either good or bad, and that things are either this way or they're that way. That teaches you choose this one pathway or you choose a different path. And reality in this way is not linear. As we have said, even linear time, as you experience it, is an illusion. And there are many things about time that is illusory and distorted. Now, as it comes to these different spiritual concepts and frames of working with your energy and working with well-being and manifesting and so on and so forth, it is required that you integrate the understanding of paradox. And this is also the way to go beyond that conditioning of your society. Instead of seeing it as this or that, you have to come see it as this and that. And so you are in a realm of duality. That is part of the nature of the game. And everything comes with its opposite to some extent. All pleasure comes with some pain, and sometimes it's simply the pain of loss. And even negative occurrences in your life will have a sort of spiritual benefit. And so understanding this will help you to see the positives in absolutely everything. These sorts of teachings that you are speaking about and referencing are a little bit basic. And part of why they're so popular is because many people in your world are at a basic level. And we don't say this in an insulting way, but we say this because there is an assumption in these teachings that you absolutely have to do it this way all of the time. And that is not true. What is very important is that in all circumstances and situations, that you are able to have a positive attitude while maintaining an awareness of your own shadow. It's not this or that, it's this and that. Without either side of this coin, you are bypassing something. And to discredit the law of attraction teachings and spiritual bypassing is incomplete. To dismiss shadow work teachings as something negative is incomplete. But when one is done without the other, you are also doing something incomplete. So it is that positive attitude towards life and towards reality that allows you to open your mind and open your heart to always see that there is some positive in any circumstance. And when you see this, you can be directed towards what truly excites you and let that guide you. It is also equally important to be aware of your shadow, to be aware of your fears, your attachments, your aversions, and your own negative energy, so that you can be sure that those negative energies are not guiding you or preventing you from doing things that are ultimately for your benefit. So open yourself to integrating the paradoxical nature of the human condition, that you are beings of pure love that have incarnated into a realm of duality. Your essence is the unconditional love of Source, but you come to evolve into a deeper connection with this unconditional love of Source through the challenging experiences in your life that sometimes trigger you and bring up feeling of separation. Without that, you wouldn't be human. So as you grow deeper on the path, you gain the power of always honoring the other perspective and always honoring the dual nature. When you go into bliss and ecstasy, you can stay aware of suffering so that this bliss and ecstasy doesn't lead you to live in a way that you become unconscious of the mistakes that can be made and fall from grace in a hard way. And when you are in the negative frequency, you will only be able to rise into balance when you connect with the positive and healing frequencies and the remembrance of Source. All of the time, you must consider that all possible frequencies exist and things are both good and bad, never good or bad. It's just a matter to what degree and to what frequency.
Amazing. Thank you for that answer.
Yeah.
Would you like some more questions? I think I saw some on YouTube.
No, we believe that will be all for this time.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks and love to all of you for co-creating this interaction, for participating together with us in allowing for us to learn from you as much as you learn from us. We extend our unconditional love to you and remind you that all of you have your own multidimensional guide and all of you have your own higher self. You may tune into that higher self now within the depths of your own heart, remembering the immense light that all is made of and that this immense light exists within your own heart. Let that light always be within you. Remember every single breath. Our great and deep unconditional love once again, and we have a fantastic rest of your day. All right.
Thank you very much, Dante.
Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here and co-creating with together. Beautiful group today.
Thanks, Dante. Mhm. I thought you were on yesterday. Time is so weird right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure today's Wednesday, right?
I think it is, yes.
But it can be confused as well.
Yes, it can.
So just a reminder, these sessions are made possible by viewers like you. There's many ways you can send a donation, and they're listed here. And of course, the best way to continue to co-create is book the session. And also a reminder that you can get this book, go way deeper into the Pleiadian Council 400-page book that came through channeled sessions, so it's a book of transcripts, about 36 hours of the channeled sessions that we just experienced, created the guidebook Living Love on Earth. Dive will open your mind to the metaphysical reality of the Pleiadian Council that can allow you to manifest and heal, to meet your own guides and have all sorts of experiences in altered states, and also to deeper understand these transmissions that we share every week. So, yeah, it's great value, such a big book at the price that it's offered. I highly encourage you to check it out, and I look forward to connecting with you more. And after that message, how are you guys feeling? How's the session?
I'm feeling better, but I need to go back and listen to the beginning. It's happy to be here. I'm working on my art projects, which is fun.
So much. Well, I appreciate all of you for, yeah, let the world know about.
Your volume's low again, Dante.
A bit of a glitchy communication. But thanks again for being here, everybody. I really appreciate connecting with you being part of these transmissions. Yeah, let the world know. Look forward to seeing you next week.